So this is the last session of Coriolis, the Third Horizon, for our Sunday morning gatherings here. Coriolis is, of course, the game from Freely Publishing. It uses the same system as Mutant Year Zero, Tales from the Loop. It's a Arabian Nights in space game, and it takes a lot of those trappings to create a very interesting world. If you've seen Fading Suns, this is a little bit like that, but there's, I think, a lot more of the cultural elements that are brought in as well. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, and we have a ton of games on the schedule each month, well over 100 each month, online games. If you're curious about that, you can check us out at gauntlet-rpg.com. And we are coming in to our session with our characters having concluded sort of one arc, and we're moving forward into following up on a piece that was a literal piece that was dropped in their laps in the very first session that we're going to come to. Now, we had some trailing bits and scenes from last time. What I want to propose is this, is I want to kind of, we're going to get those scenes, but I want to kind of cut forward and set it up sort of, you guys are at Algol, and I'll tell you why, what's going on, and we'll set that up. Does that seem fair for everybody? Before we do that, let's check in and see if anybody bought any powers, abilities, talents, and so on. Fraser, did you bought the cybernetics, right?
Yeah, I haven't done that, but I wanted to yet.
Okay.
So
consider that
I'll do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Patrick, did you buy anything?
I did. I actually had 10 XP, so I took up my data gen since it's my most rolled skill. Mm-hmm. And I took the talent Judge of Character,
okay,
which is a general talent where you can tell if someone's lying without testing manipulation. But I sort of read it as also coming off of the mystic power stuff, because it also gives the GM a darkness point.
That makes sense, and I like the darkness points. And what about you, Christo?
I'm on the fence. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, good. A little on the fence. I was thinking of taking a second mystic power, taking intuition, which I guess I wasn't quite clear how it worked, but I thought it might be sort of useful. It's either that or just up a skill, because Lord knows I can certainly up my skills with the way the dice roll in this game.
Yes.
But the mystic one, I thought, playing into the between the premonitions and the intuition, I think that could be good.
Let me look at that intuition power here.
Yeah, I'm just going to look it up again.
Oh, that's a simple
intuition
yes
was
or no
the one
question.
You took last time.
I think I did take intuition. I'm mixing them up. I think premonition is the one that.
Premonition is the sense impending danger.
So like spidey sense, is that the idea?
Yeah.
How does it work? I tell you, I'm wondering if there's going to be danger here now, and then I give you a darkness point, and you say, yes, you're going to get clubbed over the head.
No, it's one of those things where the GM has to remember you have it and make you test mystic powers. And if you pass, you get the feeling of a looming threat, but no details. It's not a great power.
That doesn't sound. I know they
don't
sell these things.
Wouldn't you get that just when the GM asked you to roll mystic powers for no particular reason?
Yeah, but then I can pretend like my character doesn't know. Yeah, no. So I guess I won't do that. I'll just take a skill. I'll figure it out during play.
I do hope that maybe in the campaign supplement that they're putting out, that maybe they add some more mystic powers and stuff. There's room for them to develop that and the cybernetics and things. I think there's plenty of space for them to do that. So hopefully,
if you're talking about the most recent Kickstarter, I did read that they were adding mystic powers because they're adding like a new race or something like that. Isn't that what it is?
Ooh, I didn't see. I was people who looks at a Kickstarter and goes, "Ooh, that sounds good," and then I don't push further. Which I've regretted in a few cases, having finally sat down and read the quick start for Project Dark. Anyway, so we'll move on from there. But yeah, I'm hoping they have new stuff, and I'm excited to hear that they do. So you're going to take a skill then, you think?
Yeah. Do you think, since I'm supposed to be an archaeologist, are we saying basically that culture is the one that plays into archaeology?
I think it is.
Okay.
Because there isn't a really good other skill for it.
Yeah. Then I'll up that one and we can. I mean, it hasn't come into play yet at all, but I figured that he should be better at that anyway.
Okay. Sherry, what about you?
Let's see here. I have points for a skill. I was thinking I would take it as a skill. And I'm thinking that I'm going to save it until I see what skill it is that I need it in.
That is fine with me, given that we're playing a short-term game. I got no problem with that. So, you finished up at Coriolis Station in the Kua system, and were getting ready to go to Algol. In the midst of that, Kef, takes off to go and get the cybernetic implants. And then he comes back, and there's kind of a mess of time there, in which Izzy Dien says, "You guys need to leave now. I've made arrangements with that convoy. If you want to have the free passage, then you need to go now." And there's this rush where you have to get on the ship, get it ready, get to the convoy, and it's just a couple of jumps, but essentially the next several days are spent in sort of frantic activity, mixed with then having to go into the hypersleep. And so we're going to take up the first time that the group has been able to catch their breaths since Coriolis Station, since the incident with the spaceship and the starship fight, is in the orbit of Algol. As you're waiting to decide how you want to approach the planet, you're kind of in the long wait of orbital standby, figuring out what comes next. And I believe that we talked about having a scene with Kef and someone else to start. Was that Ghazi or was that Yelchin?
I don't recall.
Don't recall.
Was it? I think it was Yelchin actually. I think.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Was this where we're going to try? You were going to try. It's only if Kef wants to figure out why there's all this guilt that Yelchin has.
Yeah, I think the flashback at the previously on session, maybe that's probably what we need before this is that flashback to the fight, and then Yelchin in his group, talking about his issues, and then Kef in his group kind of talking a little bit about PSTD and the violence. And maybe even a cut away from that sort of to seeing Kieran having to deal with the kind of violence that she's dealing with in that relationship with her fiance. That and how would you describe that, Sherry?
I was going to say, start with that. I want to know how that goes.
Yeah.
I think that for her time back on that station is a litany of social events in which she's expected to look beautiful and then also stand there stoically as he cuts her down and treats her badly, and everyone in the room is aware that she's not one of them, and there's all the cuts and the jibes, but mostly it's her fiance.
And we of course pull back from that to see Ghazi watching through the eyes of her fiance, right?
No, it was her eyes because I hadn't met him.
At what point do you stop, or do you watch the whole thing?
I think I get caught up and watch the whole encounter. I mean, if it gets like intimate or well, I want to say creepy, but it's already creepy. But if it gets intimate, I will snap out of it then. But I don't get the feeling that it's going that direction.
Okay, so we take up then. We'll just do. You're in orbit around Algol, and to remind you of what your goal was here is there is an archaeologist here I believe the name is Katakuri. And they have another tablet, essentially another tablet that is affiliated with the tablet that you have. They're an archaeologist, and they're here on the planet. You are in orbit around Algol. This is a Sabino Texidor. Is that who it is? Sorry, I had a different name written in my notes. I'm very bad at taking notes. Not Rich level bad, but Rich goes back and watches the videos. So, in any case, Algo is one of the planets that suffered hugely during that time of strife. Great orbital bombardments that tore huge sections of the planet apart. There are crater lands dotting the landscape, and this is I think it's a triple star system actually, but with kind of weird gravitational and eclipses and all of that. It is under the control of the consortium. When everything came into play with the consortium, the corporate entities spreading out, this is one of the planets that they really took over. They rebuilt in a lot of ways, but they took control of it with money, with industry, because this is a planet that has mineral riches and some natural riches, and they have absolutely exploited this. This planet has several different zones. We've got frozen deserts at the poles. We've got remote highlands. Some of the highlands actually reach up to the edge of the atmosphere. And then we've got swaths of taiga forest throughout here, sort of North American, Canadian style forest. Logging is an industry here. There used to be great oceans, but when the consortium discovered that there were mineral riches there, they began to drain and remove and plant mining fields there in the oceans. And so there are great sections of what once were oceans that are essentially big salt flats with mining cranes and operators and things going over that, with all of what was under that just exposed to the atmosphere. And that has radically changed the environment. It's radically changed the ecology here. This is a planet that has been devastated. Is also a planet of haves and have-nots. But here there is a strong plebeian rebellion as well that strikes and hits at the consortium government. They used to have a grav launcher that went up to the highlands to use it for orbital launching, and the rebels blew that up. And so that whole highlands is now just kind of abandoned and covered by government security drones. There's a major metroplex of 3 cities that spreads out. It's where most of the high civilization has gathered, because it's the places, the cities that actually survived. One of them, the great city of Akandar, used to have an oceanside view. Now it leads out into the salt flats. Now you have a couple of choices here in terms of how you want to proceed. You could go and head down and head to the spaceport at the Metroplex. It's called the AKM Metroplex. That has the advantage that there's access to information, access to resources there. It is, however, the place where you're going to be spotted most easily and most noticeable. If you want to go quiet, there's a secondary orbital station that you could head to for your docking, essentially, and then go in atmosphere. Try and find out where you need to go, and then go in atmosphere quiet. So those are sort of the two choices. One has more challenge. Yeah, or you could halo jump from orbit. One has more challenge, but it's quieter. The other one, easier access, but noisier. So that's where the situation is when we come back here. Ghazi, come always to you because you are the captain of the ship, the Phoenix.
Well, let's start with, because I did have some notes, but they were far from complete. Salbino Texador, I'm man?
I don't think we
woman?
gave a gender to Salbino Texador.
I don't know the name Salbino, so I couldn't judge.
Yeah. So we'll say unknown right now.
Okay. So that sort of answers some of my second question, which was how much do we know of, or do we know Salbino? Sounds like we don't know Salbino.
Well, you got his name from your consultant there at Coriolis Station, but he kind of got cut off. You know that Salbino has investigated the tablet. You know that they have the other half of this tablet, and you know that they're on Algol. Beyond that, it's a big mystery, I believe. Does that sound right to you, Christo? Okay.
Yeah.
I do remember some of that now, yeah. Then not really knowing the situation, or whether like this person is going to be friendly or competitive or secretly involved in something horrible. Let's start from the more subtle entry and go from the orbiting station, and we have a landing ship, or do we? Because our thing is
no. You do have now. You do have a jumper, like a little 4 or 5 person travel vehicle. If you go to use that to get down to the planet side, you won't get picked up. That thing doesn't register on stuff. On the other hand, you also can engage. I believe that. Let's look at the systems that your ship has here.
Yeah, I thought we had a landing ship.
You do have
atmospheric entry.
You have atmospheric entry. Yeah, and I know that you have the little launcher thing. I may have forgotten to write that on there. So yeah, you get either the 4-person drop down, or you can go atmospheric entry. Atmospheric entry gives you access to your ship than on the ground, but it is a little easier to spot.
Yeah, so let's see. If we have the ship on the ground, we have like the AI, we have the chapel, the med lab, and the workshop that we'd be giving up if it was in orbit. Does anyone have strong feelings about the ship coming down? Yelchin, it's sort of your domain there.
Do you want to bring the whole ship down?
I'm suggesting to leave it up. I'm seeing if there are any counter proposals.
I would say that since we don't know what we're going to find, we don't know what we'll need to leave with.
It's true. It would be safer to run in Anka than it would be to run in a landing vessel.
True.
Is it like it seems normal to bring in the ship, right? Like it wouldn't be strange.
It has landing capabilities, so
yeah,
it's just a little bit louder.
I think we'll do that. I have a fake ID. The ship has a good record. Surely none of this will be a problem.
Well, actually, what are we doing, people? Yelchin can use his intuition, his mystical intuition. So, is it better for us to land the big ship? To go down in the big ship?
I'm sorry, could you rephrase that as a yes or no question?
I did. Is it better for
just clear? I want a clear statement so I don't give you any ambiguity when I answer.
Is it? What are we trying to find out? I guess the question is: are we more concerned about getting attacked, or are we more concerned about being seen? Group. What are we more concerned about?
I think we're most concerned with figuring out this site and then making major profit off of it, right? That was my set of priorities. I don't know what yours are.
Because why were we waffling between taking the ship down and taking the lander?
Oh, it's just about being loud, because you do know that there were other forces that were looking into it, like the gang on Coriolis Station that had your name
Right.
and were watching you guys.
Yeah, so maybe quiet.
Well, so
you're taking one level of quiet by going to off from the Metroplex.
Right. So I guess the question is, if we take the Anka down, will that result in us getting attacked? Now he puts on his Jin helmet and tries to figure out how he can twist that so he says the truth but still gets us in trouble. I always hated making wishes.
Yeah, I think
challenge.
I think no. In the sense that taking the Anka down, you're not going to be attacked on the way down, and you're not going to be immediately attacked on the ground. Does that seem fair as an answer?
I think we take the lander. I think we want to be discreet.
All right, that's that was my impulse anyway. So let's go with that. That's what I get for asking you people. Wasted time and my own decision, anyways.
So you guys will find yourself at. Though we lost Patrick. Let me hang on a second.
That's funny.
Definitely.
Yeah. Waste of time.
Not a waste. The GM got a dark point out of this.
Yes, I did. I'll just set it at 1. The one we were at.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So you guys will hit this Tharwa station. This is clearly a cobbled together industrial process transport station. Part of it is built off of a decommissioned ship they put in orbit. When you get in there, you have just been on Coriolis, right? And a few days ago with the great wide avenues and stuff, everything here is tight. Everything here is for space. The hallways are 6 foot at most in any particular area. Everything is, the lighting is minimal. You have to head on through, but there are some places here some information brokers and contacts and locals to hit. So I think I actually need to come to Yelchin because this is a person in your sphere of influence, right?
Oh, the archaeologist?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So what do you think is good role for you to gather info on what's up with this person? And are you taking someone for assistance?
Oh, I think this is going to be a Ghazi moment because I think the best way to find out what's up with this person is actually to do a data gen roll, which I don't have. So, archaeologically, sure, I could do a brief survey of news and going into the academics to see if he's posted any papers recently and what he's working on, because we should be able to find out what his grants are. Is it all similar to?
So when you come to kind of check that, this is a closed info loop planet.
Oh.
Government has control of information in and out. The consortium keeps a tight lid on it. Broadcast is allowed. The main station is allowed here, but there's no contact with the sort of outside stuff. Everything is local net.
Wow.
But you did say the station ties down to the planet.
The station does have radio contact down to the planet and some basic database stuff, especially travel back and forth if someone came through this station.
So I think Gazos, radio control over a planet that paranoid about its information network makes me worried. Maybe up here we just look for a friend. Surely we know someone on the planet. And then once we get down there, using local networks to dig into Salbino, we'll hopefully flag fewer people. Send our presence out to fewer people.
So who is your friend? What kind of friend are they? Are they a fixer? Are they an archaeologist? Are they a gun runner?
Oh, I like the gun runner.
Okay.
And I think it's Kef's friend.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So Kef, they ask you to check in with one of your gun runner friends.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. I'll give you Tabasi 10.
Okay.
And I put a picture up.
Oh, you did? Cool.
Oh
yeah.
And
that was my character in Rich's game of tweakers.
Oh,
That's funny.
Oh, that's right. That's why that was familiar to me. That's right.
Yeah.
I think that was the first game you and I played together too.
It was.
And so you will call, get to the station, check, get a code you have to run through, and eventually you'll get a hold of Tabasi on a clothesline. I assume, given your data gen skills and having access to the ship when you're in orbit, you can get it so it's pretty secure. And he's like, "Oh, Kef, well, what's going on? Did they catch up with you again?"
Yeah, they caught up with me again on this with this new crew. I think I'll have to do some explaining at some point.
Are you here to lay low then?
Kind of. We're here on a mission,
Mm-hmm.
but we're trying to keep it on the down low.
Okay, you know me. I can be discreet. I can be discreet. I can be well armed and discreet at the same time. So it's all good. So what's going on then?
How much do we want to tell him, people of the crew?
I don't know. Sounds like you're having a really secret conversation.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. But yeah. Okay, well, so what do we actually need from this person then?
We need to find Salbino and then meet up with him.
Well, isn't it more than that? Don't we actually need to find out not just where he is, but like what might be happening around him? Like if this is such a closed planet and so closely monitored, then maybe he's monitored or confined or has that they have guards posted around him or something like that.
We also need a safe place on the ground where we can do some investigation of our own.
Okay, so a couple things.
Okay.
Actually, maybe when he asked me that, can we do a flashback?
Sure.
And then that's when I tell people about like my past. I'll just do like a quick info dump so I don't people up too much. But I like the idea actually. If we could do the accelerated reflex, could I have gotten them before in the envoys? And
sure.
then like I pay for it now, but I had it like that's sort of like what they did to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so like
you need to jailbreak your cybernetics.
Yeah, exactly. So like after that fight and all that, and people, there was many cues that I was involved with these people. And
yeah, as you were going through that scene, I was like, oh, that's what I wanted to talk to Kef about, his betrayal and knowing stuff about our enemies. Right, that one.
Yeah. So I think like later on at like the dining hall or something where there's a window and maybe we just enter the orbit of this planet or this area or whatever, and we're looking up the history and we learn about how like the consortium has like modified the planet. Kef is like comparing this to what they have done to him as well. Like he he was taken at a young age, and his personality and his body was modified for the purposes of the envoys to do this work. And eventually he couldn't take it and ran off. And then maybe there's like some sort of like futuristic scanning tech or something. So when he's explaining it, he puts his arm under it, and you can see like the wired reflexes beneath that were like imprinted in him and all that kind of stuff, right? And so he's saying like, I wanted a chance to have my own life, and the only way I could see that was to run. And what you experienced and saw me today was like me at my lowest, right? Like I couldn't stop firing on those people because I was so angry. Yada yada.
Who were they? Who are the envoys? I'm just going with an assumption that we haven't heard of them before.
Yeah, I think it's like a experimental military arm of I'm not sure what.
Probably the Zenithian hegemony.
Yeah, that sounds like them. And so yeah, it's like a highly classified experimental program where they were training, like not super soldiers, but super soldiers. and then Kef ran. Yeah, I think like a mission went bad, and he saw like, maybe we'll lean right into Altered Carbon, and like his friends were hit with like a viral strike, and then he was like, I'm out, and ran. And then ended up on the ship for nice and cheap.
Yep.
My modest rate is explained.
Yeah.
So Tabasi says, okay, so you want me to get the scoop on where this person's at, and then you want me to give you background when I got that.
Yes. Keep it on the DL. And then he's like, I might have, that's a good colloquial term for completely destroying a ship. I cratered an envoy ship not long ago.
Okay. All right. Well, good. We're going to do this remotely then. So we don't need to meet face to face or anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he will go away. You probably have to spend a couple of hours in the horrible, canteen on the ship to get things filled out. They've got the blue milk and all of that kind of stuff as you go here. Everything has kind of a chemical industrial smell to it throughout here. That clearly the atmospheric filters are not priority one on the station, and there's a ton of mining stuff and industrial products that go through here, and it's kind of a mess. You probably end up with a headache by the time you get back to your ships.
So just as a throw in there, because I appreciate that Kef told us about the super secret high tech militaristic Zenithians that he used to be best buds with and just blew up, but somehow that doesn't tick off all of my trust boxes.
Right.
So I think there's a shot of Ghazi back on the ship in his room. His eyes are glowing all golden, and he's been like spying on Kef during that call just to make sure he's not selling us out.
All right. I'm going to make a Mystic Powers roll for that.
Ah.
The cost of not succeeding is Kef realizing what you're doing.
That makes total sense. Bum bum bum.
Would you like to push that?
So if he pushes that, though, you're going to get 2 dark points for this action, aren't you?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
No.
I think, Patrick, like, dark points can be used to make weapons fail, ships fail, everything can fail.
Oh, you're talking to me like I'm afraid of dark points. I'm not afraid of dark points. I made the dark point character. But I do think it's more interesting here in the last one for maybe Kef, like, I don't know. Maybe Kev sees his reflection in the screen, and I'm thinking either it's like eyes glowing, or he sees his reflection and it's my face looking back at him, or something like that.
Kef, would you call him on that?
No, I think that I just continue, especially with the admitting that we like cratered an envoy ship and all that kind of stuff. I think that Kef is just trying to earn trust back. So
I like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
He, Tabasi gets back to you and he will say, okay, well, you're looking for somebody interesting. So this person you're looking for, she skirts the rules here. She's, how do I put this best? She has not worked well with the locals. She's not worked well with the consortium. She's kind of done her own thing. She's one of those people that gives archaeologists a bad name. More that they're relic hunters, and that kind of thing. What I know is that the last place that I have her spotted is a place called Gabaton. And that's kind of a shitty place. It's right on the edge of a taiga, a great forested area, but it's a forested area that used to have a lot of water and swampland in it. And when they did the drainage, it was holding up okay, but now all of that has gotten salted up, and it's kind of a mess. Not only that, the salt has kind of reacted, so it's got a low-level toxic haze in places. But there is a forestry colony there, and it looks like she checked into there not that long ago. And so if you want to find her, that's where you probably want to go. It's just Gabaton. Now, I'm going to tell you another thing I know because we're friends. So Gabaton is a kind of crappy area. This is a forestry colony that is just trying to desperately get the stuff out of there. There's also some rebel activity around in there, and I know that the governor is, how do I put this, cracking down. So you might have some orbital, not orbital, probably wouldn't use that. They probably just do airship bombardments for a rebel stronghold. So just be aware that there's a little bit of risk there. Gabaton does do launches, so there is a spaceport there. Not the greatest one, but you could land there. Does that help?
That helps. Thank you.
Okay. Do you need anything else from me?
I don't think so.
Good. Okay, because I'm going to be changing comm locations now and burning this one. The usual drop codes if you do need to get a hold of me, but I'm going off the grid until you guys are off planet.
That might be perhaps wise.
Okay. Last thing I'm going to tell you, there was a search for you at the Metroplex.
I suppose that was to be expected.
Another ship came on your convoy from Kua and landed there, and they've been doing standard queries. The station you're on is kind of off the grid, so it's going to be a while before they find out where you're at.
Right. Okay. I have my thing where I can project a different face, so they'll wear that.
All right, you guys have that in mind. You have that info. Is there anything else you want to do on station?
Well, before we go down,
Sure.
the tablet was meant to be a proximity detector
Mm-hmm.
for something. Can we try it?
It is not on the station, no.
Oh, okay.
But it does. We do get the idea that, like, if we got it close enough, it would have some link up to its other half.
Yeah, if you got within like a kilometer.
Okay.
I'd like to do some basic shopping now that I have a sense of where we're going and the equipment that's needed. So essentially, I have no problem. I think we should be able to buy a lot of that gear here because it's going to be stuff like breathing gear for working on the surface and stuff like that.
There are a lot of wildcat prospectors that come out of here. So they have all of that gear, suits and mining equipment and heavy boots and breathers and all of that kind of thing.
Excellent. I will get us, shall we say, suited up.
Yeah, I was looking. There's filter masks, which are 300 each, pretty light, and last for 1 to 3 days, given how toxic your environment is.
It would last longer because it's just not continuous clouds, but the areas that you have to walk through.
So, I'd be okay with buying a pair of filter masks for everyone. I got some money.
Okay.
Is there anything fancy you want to buy, Sherry, to add on to your grenades?
Oh, what are my options? Where should I look for that?
Well, let's see what we could find here. Well, we've got things like artificial gill, spider suit for climbing on things. Here's what we're going to do is I don't think we need to do the shopping trip here.
Okay,
but if you drop a couple K,
yeah,
I'll let you essentially Dungeon World equipment it up. Does that seem fair? Okay.
That seems more than fair. Oh, and in fact, the other thing that I want is essentially what constitutes a, hover wheelbarrow. Essentially, something where we can drag a big something or other back without having to actually put our back in it, since we're not taking the ship down.
Okay. Yeah, you can get a graph sledge.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
And you can take the shuttle down. I mean, imagine this. So this is a small shuttlecraft, is what this jumper is. And you can head down to Gabaton if you want. And you'll drop down into orbit, and then suborbit. You can see the highlands off in the distance, again, peeking up through the clouds, hitting the edge of the atmosphere. As you go over, you'll also see sections of this planet that are just absolutely hard, where you can still see the circles and craters of patterned orbital bombardment, where great sections are just devastated. Here, even generations later, it's still visible from orbit. And you probably come over the glistening salt marshes, the flats of what was the ocean, and just that sort of get that crystal that at first looks sort of very pretty, and then you realize it's just dried crystals, everywhere, and you see the mining crawlers moving along there of what once was an ocean floor. You could probably, if you go down close, you'll see skeletons of what would have been like giant whales and things that lived in the ocean. Their bodies have just, sat here and rotted away. And eventually you will hit the woodlands, the taiga. Imagine it's sort of coniferous style trees and woods and scattered area, and then it gets thicker and then less thick. And you can tell you're getting over to Gabaton because you do start seeing these graying, yellowish haze clouds down below the tree line as you move over them, where there are pockets of something where the salt marsh and stuff has reacted with something in the soil to create this problem. And then you will get to Gabaton. It is a sort of carved out valley area. It has a raised orbital platform for landing, and there are different, hauling craft that are there. And then there's this town that's below, and there's none of the toxin here, but the atmosphere is all that color of sort of greenish yellow that seems to hang like a haze here. And you can land. You've called into the tower to get clearance, and you will land. You'll be checked through. People assume that you guys are like prospectors, that you're here to go and maybe check out this area. It's relatively untouched because it is kind of a dangerous area. It's harder to work in. Even this forestry company are very, very new here. So you can hit the ground running. People don't pay you any mind. You got a small craft. It's a backwoods area. So tell me, how do you get info? What's your next step once you're on the ground here? And again, every breath is just a little bit of a kind of metallic tang to it as you go through until you put the breather masks on. Not harmful yet, but you taste the rainbow here. Okay.
As we're flying in, can I maybe tap into the planet's data net and try and find out some more like recent information or hidden information about Salbino?
Sure. You'd probably hit the local net here since it's not very well connected up.
Okay.
But yeah, you can hit that. Let's have you make a data gen roll.
Where are you? There you are. Do the thing.
Okay.
Are
you happy with that?
No, I'm never happy with that.
Well, if you weren't happy with it, you could re-roll.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
I'll give that a shot.
Did you pray to an icon?
Let me look at my icon list. Messenger. What else? Tech and that's it. Probably not. I think I'm going to save it for the merchant.
Okay. So you got a couple questions here. So what is the first thing you want to know?
Where's the last login to the data net that she made? Like what location?
It looks like she made a check-in just a few days ago, and was doing how do I put this? A sweep to look out for people watching for her. Like she was clearly heading out. You can see from a tech, it looks like she was heading out into the field. You get that kind of sense. There's equipment pickups and things like that. And she was definitely paranoid.
Okay, then she's obviously very canny and good at writing this sort of extra legal line. But bounty hunters and lawmen aren't always so skilled or careful. So can I get a track on someone that's following her?
Yes, that seems fair. A good thing. So one, you'll definitely get the sense that there are some consortium military kind of sweeping the general area, looking for rebels. But more specifically, it looks like she's been tagged and is being followed by the Cassar Guard. They're essentially the local Imperial Guard. And they clearly think that she's hooking up with the rebels.
So yeah, as we're landing, I'll sort of bring that up on the view screen of the little hollow screen of this landing craft. So like here's a point where she made her last login. Obviously, she's being really paranoid and sweeping for people looking for her. And then I'll bring sort of a public profile of like the captain or sergeant or whatever that's leading that particular detachment of the Cassar Guard. So these, we might be able to, I don't know, trail them, find some information through them. We could hook up with them, but that automatically puts us on the opposite side from Salbino, and that's not a great place to start negotiations from.
Right, but they aren't going to be moving all that subtly, so we can get a sense of where they think she's gone anyway. Probably pretty easily.
That's my hope.
Okay.
So yeah, you want to hit the ground here, check things out. This is a logging mining town. The structures here are those kind of quick fix buildings, temporary stuff. There are a few more permanent structures. It looks like maybe they built around those old structures. There is a local controller here. There are some corporate guards on site, and most of what is here is essentially company store kind of things. Essentially barracks and bars and houses of entertainment and liquor stores and a place for prostitutes, and all of that is here. And it's kind of a mess as you walk through. Again, that sort of foggy haze that is hanging around. And you will notice that the port, the landing port, is fenced off, and you are checked in when you come out of there. They clearly don't want anybody to get access to there. So Ghazi did the data gen stuff. Let me check in. We haven't heard from you, Kieran, for a bit. What's your approach here?
I think my approach is probably manipulation or culture, that sort of thing. Essentially, we're new, we're prospectors and stuff like that. The only people, it seems like it's pretty unusual that there are other prospectors here, but that's probably the most likely thing that Salbino would have been understood as. So if I'm going around thinking, oh yeah, we're prospectors, we think we've got a good thing here, asking about potential, competitors in that field wouldn't seem out of place. So
Absolutely.
Essentially she's going, she's just trying to find out if anyone else has been essentially leaving out of here.
So I think you can make a culture roll. Yelchin, do you want to do your own roll, or do you want to assist on this roll?
I'll assist.
Okay. So you can grab up an extra die there, Sherry.
Okay.
But when you say prospecting, you're talking mining, right? You're not talking looking for artifacts.
Right. Yeah, but essentially, and yes, absolutely. But that's what we look like, and that's what she would probably look like to them. Well, only an archaeologist thinks archaeologists are normal.
Exactly. No, I get that. Otherwise, you're considered what are you? You're like
Yeah,
a grave robber or a trash digger.
exactly.
That's a limited success.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
I am, in fact, because I don't think we need a dark point just to go, where'd she leave out of, Where was she headed? What'd she take with her?
So she'd been through a couple of times through here. Like she's been back and forth in this area enough times to kind of raise suspicion and raise attention. It's part of why she got red flagged by the local Imperials. And when you talk to people, she's been buying equipment, and there's some suspicion that she's got some kind of site that she's out at, but she's not taking mining things. So people do know that she's odd. She's also drawn the attention, you will hear, of the local rebels.
Like good attention?
No.
Okay, so they think that she's like setting something up to monitor or something like that.
Yeah, clearly the Imperials think that she's with the rebels. The rebels think that she's an Imperial agent.
All right. We might have to get out there and save her life so we can get that other thing. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, and I'll spread a little coin around in the sense of, that sort of prospectors thinking they've got a good plan out there, and they're feeling rich, right? So, yeah, just so there's good feelings. Yes, lots of drinks.
All right, hold on one second. Kef, as you are walking in the town, you look. You've got your disguise on, right?
Of course.
The one thing that's a little bit harder for you to hide is that you look dangerous. Right?
Yeah, I got that bobbly swagger.
Yeah. And there is a bit when you will see a group of what looks to be, you guess they must be guard here. And this guy walks up on you. He's got a couple people with him rather. And he says, Identikit.
As he swerves towards us, can I try and use a stop?
Yes, you can.
So don't follow up on that hunch would be my stop there.
Okay. Let's have you roll your mystic powers. I'll just take and raise up my darkness points here.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yes, you roll. Okay. Yeah, so he does stop. He eyeballs Kef, and then he decides, okay, that's not worth doing. And he will angle off. But he definitely looks like he's one of those Cassar Guard people here.
I like Sherry's note in the chat. Why?
So you've got a couple of choices here about how you want to proceed. Try and head out on your own. You could try to get a local prospector guide. You could try and make a rebel contact. Got a number of options here. What do you think? You could try to fly the jumper out and hopefully find a place to land.
I think a guide sounds good.
Yeah, maybe a guide with a space jeep that won't stand out quite so much as our landing vehicle.
Okay. So yeah, let's say that you can find a guide, a guy named Yakarin, and Yakarin's like, "You want to go out and by yourself? With where we? How's that with going where this thing would be?"
So he must be pretty cheap then.
Oh yeah, he's super cheap. Oh yeah. He's a kind of guy who has a Jeep. It's all beat up. and he goes out enough that sort of the smell of the clouds kind of clung to him, sort of like acidic rotten eggs, and it's like, yeah. So or what and where are going to go?
So he gives his like Boomhauer ramble, and I
Yeah.
think there's just a like 30 seconds of silence, and Ghazi will just like slide a map forward with a data point on it.
Yeah. When he leans forward, you will realize that he's got some implants, and you can see that they're corroded, and you're guessing that's why he's this way. Like, he came here, he had some implants, and the atmosphere eventually ate into him, and he's probably got some damage from that. Because and you notice it because you do see, at first you thought they were just scars, but you realize they're kind of raised, kind of infected lines of that subdermal stuff. And he'll say, "Yeah, well, let's go out," and he'll load you into his Jeep, and we'll take our break here.
Hey, Lowell, did you see in YouTube now they let you? There's a button for saving the chats, I think.
No, I didn't see that.
When you do it in the advanced settings, I haven't tried it. I mean, that's what
I
it
haven't either.
sounds like it does.
I was shocked when I went to watch some of my videos again and saw that it had done the automatic closed captioning.
Oh yeah, if you turn that option on, yeah.
Oh, that is amazing, especially when I use like RPG terms and stuff, how completely wrong they are.
What?
But it's actually it makes rewatching the videos great when you have those on. So
Is it something you do on the recording end or the watching end?
Recording.
yeah, you have to like there's a box you have to tick, and I think I've got it like ticked by default. And so when it does the processing, it has automatic voice recognition closed captioning, which is I mean
That's super cool.
the world just blows my mind that we can do that.
Cool.
Because I remember working with dictation software 20 years ago and having to read volumes and volumes of books to try and get it to kind of take it and now,
shout at it, and it's still misunderstood like a third of your words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a crazy development. Sherry,
Yeah.
are you back? No, apparently not.
I last night Ollie sent me the I think mostly final version of the playbooks for Hack the Planet, and they're gorgeous.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So good. I was like, yes.
I'm excited. I get to play that one with you in June, I think.
In June, that's far. There's still some sessions open of the Constant Gardener ones on Saturday. Oh wait, that is June.
Also, I work on Saturdays.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you will head out into these woods, and he's a good pilot. He's not a great pilot. Like he's good at keeping the craft intact, but maybe not at your comfort. There are several times, when he takes particular hard turns through here that you have to hang on. Imagine that you guys have all been in pine forests and stuff. You know how the that settles on the ground. Imagine that you've got that, and then you've also got that salt crystals. Like clearly was some swamp area and some wetlands here, and that's all dried and that's crystallized around here. And occasionally he turns away from big clouds of stuff. You probably also go by some of the industrial logging areas where you see the big cutter machines working there, and these aren't automated. These are people with big, nasty, dangerous saws working at top speed because they are paid by the piece, and they're on there and they're stripping things down and they're rolling them onto grav sleds, and he'll try to keep off from that path as much as he can. However, at one point, he does hit an area that kind of drops off, and the grav thing. He clearly wasn't expecting this. Like the cloud and the mist was sort of obscuring his vision, and there's that bit where he kind of launches off from it, and you'll get that beep beep beep. You'll recognize of the grav thing can't work because there's no the GEV part of it. There's no ground to affect from, and the thing will start to go over. And I need all of you to make move checks for me.
What's a move check?
Move, I believe, is a skill in here. If I'm reading the skill, it might be. No, it's dexterity. I'm sorry, dexterity is what they call it in this. It's move in Mutant Year Zero.
Can it be +2 to acrobatics.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely. Your height and reflexes certainly play a part in this.
Cool.
And if we don't have dexterity, then we just use agility.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So it would be.
I don't know what to say. I have a chunk of dice and I still get nothing.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
right.
I was like, I have 4 agility, and I still.
I'm down to 0, so if either of you wanted to re-roll.
You're down to 0. Is that what took this down? Was having us go off a cliff?
Yes, it is, actually. So this thing hit. What happens to you, Kieran? What injures you?
I think there's that thing that she does where she throws her arm out to try to protect Ghazi. And just ends up like, well, how did Ghazi do? Did he do okay?
He did fine.
Oh yeah, so she does a fine job, but because she's not watching out for herself, she just like literally flies out of the sled as soon as it kind of comes to a stop.
Do you have any armor?
Yes.
Then you may roll your armor.
Okay. No. nothing.
So you hit, and you
That's
hit
how
against
I
one of
roll
these.
all the time. 1s, 2s, and 3s. That's
You hit against one of these trees, and there is a branch sticking out, and it cuts through your suit and goes through, and essentially the branch goes right through your arm there. And it's more that there's also that sort of shock as the weight carries you a little bit, and you feel that tear on there. So you're going to take 2 points of damage.
thanks. All.
What happened to you?
What happens to me? Yeah, no, I guess you tell me. I mean, I would think Yelchin would wear a seatbelt, but maybe, are you saying these don't have seatbelts? Is that what this is?
Seatbelt? Wait, what?
Yeah, okay. We're a frontier town. Got it.
Yeah.
Seats?
Yeah. So no. So I think Yelchin was actually sort of kicking back and not paying attention to what the guy was doing, or pretending not to pay attention, but because he realizes he couldn't save us if anything happened anyway. And so I guess he gets thrown also.
Yeah. So do you think you get thrown out, or is it your face against the windshield?
But you like that image, do you? Okay, I'll go with that.
Okay. There is that boom, you hit it. And it's that light plastic. I mean, everything on this vehicle is done lightly. Like they try to take off excess weight so the grav thing can work. And you'll hit it, and you'll take 2 points of damage, and you probably like bend that plastic there and kind of pop the little edge of the windshield off, and now it's kind of flapping as he's driving.
So you're saying 2 hit points of damage, and that's
Yes.
So does armor help?
Yeah. Do you have armor?
I bought flight suit.
Oh yeah, then you can roll for that.
Okay, so how do I roll that? This is the first time I've rolled one.
Just how many? What's the rating on it?
It's just a 1, so it's just
Okay.
one die 6.
One die. If you roll a 6, you get to reduce that by 1 point.
Is that how really?
Yeah, it is. It is a not great system. Armor
Better than
is
nothing.
kind of, yeah, it's better than nothing, but it is.
It's the worst, and I thought we as a hobby had learned this system after learned this lesson after the old World of Darkness days.
Yeah, no. Everything's okay. The armor is definitely kind of wonky. So it comes down. He hits, does that kind of scrape, scratch. And he's hitting the stuff to get the gravatics set back up. And it kind of comes down, and there'll be that as you come to a stop there. Kef, Ghazi, you lost Kieran.
Yeah, I
Lost? Oh, and we lost Lowell.
That was us spending some light points.
Yeah. You come back when you don't hurt us.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I had this the other day where I got a 502 error as well.
Yep.
Oh, weird.
I don't know. I haven't actually checked the other video had the right amount of time, so I don't know what occurred there.
Well, I see like a black screen instead of your face.
Me too.
Oh,
I see a frozen of you down on the bottom.
Yeah, you're frozen on the bottom.
I don't know what to tell you. We'll see if it clicks back in at some point here.
Okay.
Okay. So you will hit land. You can get Kieran off of the tree.
Sorry.
And as you're kind of recovering, pulling that out, and again, get that horrible sap that you're kind of crunching through. It gets on your boots. Imagine that you've got like syrup and salt stuck to your shoes and your clothing where you hit. And it's at that point that you kind of feel a vibration, Ghazi.
Vibration?
Yeah, you're like,
Like, I can't see you making gestures, lol.
oh shit.
Somebody's ringing your tablet.
Yeah, and you kind of look down and you realize that you've got that tablet is there for some reason.
Oh, I can see you.
And it's vibrating.
Oh, that tablet. Yes.
Yes. You look at your iPad. Oh no.
I'm not getting a call. I thought I was getting yeah, then I would like to, I'm assuming sort of meta level, this means we're like within range of the other piece.
Yeah.
Then I would like to take this opportunity to go ahead and have my thingamajigger, Artificer Mystic Power, activate. Which is you can enter a trance to understand an artifact close to you and determine its origin and use, which we sort of know, but I'm more interested in the like mind linking with the artifact and seeing what that brings.
Okay.
So you don't care about the fact that Kieran might be injured. You're going to go into a trance and focus on the tablet. Okay.
To be clear, fictionally, like I really care about Kieran, but I'm seeing this as an involuntary thing. It's sort of like his first dreams of getting the Mindwalker power. Like this is just activating and he didn't know it was there.
Okay. Are you going all golden-eyed on us again?
I think this one's a little different. I think as he grabs the tablet, the light comes from his hands this time. Like it's very visible to who's driving us. As this light spreads out of his hands and goes into the tablet and lights up the whole thing. Would you like me to?
Yelchin turns and says,
"Well, I can't say that either, lol."
You Kieran? Okay.
Yeah, Kieran.
Yeah, Karen. Okay.
So let's have you make that mystic power roll.
Alrighty then.
And I think Yelchin turns and looks at him and shakes his head. I must have hit my head harder than I thought.
Okay. I'm sorry. There's so many tabs.
And while he's doing that, he's like, and I think Yelchin was like, these trance things, and he's going to go over and try and help Kieran because he picked up some what are they called, M doses, the medical doses.
I am going to re-roll that, and I'm going to go ahead and use my prayer. We'll say the faceless one.
Okay, two extra dice then.
I am interested in this, and -1 because I got a success, right?
Yep.
That's 2 at least.
2 successes. So I will say this, that with that, since this is like a proximity thing, that with that good standard success, rather than having to like pilot around and do soundings, right, and make piloting checks, you can actually get like it's that way. It is that direction. And be certain that you're like right at the edge of that kilometer distance or so, and it is that way. Does that seem like fair info?
Yeah, nice. To follow the fiber. So yeah, as that leaks away, and I just don't think Ghazi even notices the glow at this point. He's very hound dog sort of focused on this particular line and says, I can feel it. We're close.
Okay.
It's pulling. It's so close.
Let's stop and check in on Kieran.
Yeah.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
So you kind of pull yourself off of this branch,
Mhm.
and by
Well, I
that
think-
time,
I think we probably help her off the branch.
okay. You look back, you see Ghazi trancing out in the vehicle.
Okay. As long as he's safe.
Okay.
Slap
And what
him
are you
out of
supposed?
it.
What are you supposed the med doses? What are they supposed to look like?
Oh, I think they look like big pods. And you just, like, whatever the wound is or whatever, you just essentially, like, clap them over it and it goes down into it and fills in and, essentially, doesn't that seem like the kind of thing? Closes it off.
Yeah.
So it's like sort of, okay, so I was thinking of it a more high-tech, clean sort of thing, but you're making it sort of a retro messy thing, which is cool. I like that better.
Yeah.
I think of it as sort of, yeah.
Kind of crack it onto there,
Biotech.
almost like a metal egg. The bottom part gives and lets the goo into there. It fills in the wound, and it does an immediate seal, and keeps you from bleeding, and then has the antibiotics and stuff in there.
And some painkiller.
So your arm is really good. And I think you can heal up the 2 points then.
Good purchase.
Christo, are you going to break one of those onto your?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Yelchin probably doesn't even notice very much because he was concussed before. So
Okay.
I think he's just sort of,
Yeah. So you've got a direction and a distance, and Karen's like, okay, we can take off again. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
I actually sort of like the idea that like being in the gas reconnects some of his nodes, and so he almost sort of works better out here.
Oh God, it's not good for his skin though. So he is like, where you want to go that way?
It's that way.
Okay,
but
okay.
As a guide, you would know about any more cliffs between here and there, right?
We're kind of off the beaten path at this point.
You are so worth your money. Can we just drive?
Okay. And he'll start the grav sled up again. And he will begin driving that way. So you guys will head on. Let me think. Is there anything I need to know about your how you're doing this? I don't think so.
But how he's trying to triangulate the location?
No, he knows exact direction.
Yeah, and you're assuming it's linking to the other tablet, not to an archaeological site. Oh, that was one question I had that we didn't talk about. Is there any evidence of archaeological sites on this planet?
Oh yeah, there are
Okay.
old civilization things and lost areas out in there, but most of this that was sort of the consortium doesn't give a shit about that stuff, at least here, and so there's been no big expeditions here.
So could we possibly be approaching the camp of Salbino? Because we know she's paranoid and probably armed. I would rather not go down to a pot shot in order to protect Ghazi once again.
So would you like to stop and approach more carefully?
Yes, I would prefer that. Yes.
Okay. Well, then I
would
won't
suggest
spend
that to
my
partner.
darkness points then.
Thank you.
So who wants to be the lead on stalking up? Who is the best person for sort of leading the infiltration role?
Oh, infiltration. I think Kieran and I are both equally good at that. So maybe I'm helping Kieran.
Okay.
So
Or actually,
we're gonna infiltrate as compared to like making our presence known, obviously, and walk in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a problem, but like you do sort of have to hold Ghazi back at the start because I think coming off of this connection, he really just wants to go straight forward towards it.
Okay,
Let's
maybe that's Yelchin's job to hold Ghazi back then.
Let's have Kef roll it
Okay.
with Kieran assisting.
Yeah, sounds good.
But Kieran's better at infiltrating.
Oh, is she?
Don't you have 2?
I have 2, but I have a 3 in agility. I assume your agility is off the.
Oh. Yeah, okay, yeah. And that, mine's better, yeah.
So you get an extra die.
Cool. Infiltration. 2.
2. So you two will kind of you stop the sledge because this thing makes a lot of noise, and you will proceed forward, moving through the woods. Moving through the mist of this that gives you some advantage, and you will kind of come to the edge, and you see there is a. How do I put this best? There's actually a tracked vehicle. You can see that it's a tracked vehicle, and it actually has on top of it a canopy with camo. And the tracked vehicle seems to have come to a stop. And there's about 7 or 8 people here, and they are dressed. Most of them have sort of semi-camo gear on, and one of them is going, I don't know, the tablet's just, it's doing something, like it's reacting. And the person who looks like they're maybe in charge there, and let me get a picture here for you of them. Let's do this. She goes, well, that means we're getting close. Texador wouldn't tell us where we're headed, so we must be getting close. We found it, and now we'll get her to activate it. And they seem to be loading up to move the vehicle again.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, now would be the time to catch them outside with the stun grenades, correct?
That would be correct if you wanted to take them on.
I look at Calf and I'm like, with the stun grenades?
Yeah, well, if we're going to battle them, might as well do it when they're not expecting it, and yeah, before they get in their vehicles and speed off and whatnot. Yeah, I think so, because we know that it doesn't seem like it'll be a peaceable situation at any point, right?
You tell me.
It looks like they've got Selbino held.
That's your guess. She's probably inside that vehicle.
Exactly, and they have superior numbers, so they think they'll be able to overpower us. So I don't think I'm looking at someone that I can negotiate with yet. Maybe after I whittle the numbers down, but now.
So you want to throw the grenade?
Yes.
Okay. So you can throw it. You'll probably be able to catch the 4, like this leader, the person as the tablet, and the 2 people that are outside the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem fair?
Sure.
Okay. Then let's have you roll that.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. And then they don't have anything to help you with that, right?
You can actually stop and aim.
I'll do that then. What does that give me?
If you take a slow action to fire an aim shot, meaning you kind of stand still, and it counts for grenades too, you get 2 extra dice.
I'm taking those 2 extra dice, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So you see her kind of get ready, cock back.
All right, I got 1 success. At this point, yes, I'll push. So, subtract 1 out. Oh well, 1.
So I will say that this lands, and it lands closest to the dude with the tablet.
Okay.
And the effect will actually knock him down and send him sprawling. But the other 3 aren't stunned by that. So, Kef, tell me what you're doing.
I want to shoot at the leader.
Going to shoot this woman? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
With my Vulcan cricket.
Okay. And then I'm going to check in with Yelchin and Ghazi.
Okay. And so it's ranged combat, right?
Yeah, and you can aim.
Oh, great. Okay, so it'll be 3 dice because it gives me 1 bonus.
Yep.
Cool. See what happens. 2.
2 successes, so that will hit. So
sounds
you got.
Sounds like it's a critical.
Oh, are you going to spend the critical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, let me get that darkness point there. Hang on.
We figured out last time those icon talents you can only use once per session. So is that your icon thing or one of your your executioner thing?
That's his icon talent.
Yeah.
So just to warn you.
Okay.
Or is it executioner? Let me just.
No, I think that's a talent from your icon, isn't it?
No, executioner does something similar though, doesn't it?
Let me take a look.
203.
Oh, the judge is the one where you get the automatic crit. The executioner is the one where you can make a low crit into a high crit, basically.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
All
Okay.
right, so let's have you roll on that table. We've got that critical injuries table. Please go ahead and roll that.
Oh, yes. 0. How's
so-
that possible?
So that is not a great thing. Now, you had something with the judge that allows you to do what? Or with the executioner?
I think executioner lets you swap the numbers.
Let me look and see what those numbers are with the wind knocked out. So you rolled 1-1 is what you rolled.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So you will essentially fire off the cricket and catch this woman and do some damage, but you essentially stun her, knock her back. There are 2 other people there. Yelchin, what are you doing?
Probably trying to keep. Oh, but so now I see Kef get into the thick of things. How
Yep.
far away are we compared to them? Am I close enough that I can take a shot?
If you're at short, if your weapon can hit short range, yeah.
Yeah, I picked up a Vulcan cricket also.
Okay. There are 2 people that are up that haven't been stunned. There's the a captain of their group who has been stunned, and then there's the guy with the tablet who's gotten knocked to the ground who's stunned. There's also a guy driving the vehicle.
The
You can
tablet
probably
knocked to
see.
the ground, that's stunned. And I see the tablet, don't I?
Yeah, he dropped it.
So I think I'm going to push Ghazi down so that Ghazi gets out of the way and is safe.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make a dash for the tablet.
That sounds like a dexterity check to me.
I'm going to have to up that. Is that 1 success?
But I still did 2 damage or whatever though. Too.
Oh yeah. You did damage to her. Yeah. In fact, I think 3 damage is what you did to her actually total with the extra success. So Yelchin, Limited
I think
success. I think you can get up and get a hold of the tablet.
Oh, so we're gonna have that classic fighting for the tablet thing?
Yeah, or if you want to try and push it and be able to get a hold of it and start to run back.
Yeah, no, I want to push it. So
Okay.
like this will be me like elbowing the guy in the face to get him to let go. And so that means I take it down, do the same roll, but put like a minus into the modifier.
Yes.
Okay.
Minus
Is it
one.
gonna? Yeah. Hold on.
If you prayed to the dancer, you could get that bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do pray to. Yeah, I pray to the dancer every morning. That's like
Then
my
it's
default.
+1 then.
Okay. Cool.
Ends up being.
Come on, scroll. This roll 20 doesn't seem to scroll very well. Did it take it? I can't see.
Yep. So you got another success. So you dash out, run, kind of, do that slide to home base, grab this thing, and start running back to the tree line.
Gazi, I got the other one. Stay down.
Gazi, what do you do?
Fight my impulse to go tackle Yelchin because he's trying to steal my artifact. No. There's fire going back and forth and things exploding, and I'm inclined to take that advice to stay down. So I'm digging through my pack to pull out the signal jammer and activate it just in case they have another team they might want to call in.
Okay. You'll click that. So the captain is on the ground. One of the people gets in front of her and essentially goes to a seated firing position. Essentially, so he spends his action getting cover for her and gets his weapon out. The other guy starts moving sort of perpendicular and is going to take a shot at you, Yelchin. The people in the cab of the truck are startled by what's going on here. So Yelchin is going to take one shot at you. Let me slash.
And I get to defend, don't I?
No. So the way this works is you can defend in melee if you burn your action to defend. Otherwise, ranged combat, there's no defense roll in this game.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any armor? You have a flight suit. So go ahead and roll the flight suit roll.
So you're saying he's gonna cut my new flight suit? Oh man, I'm gonna be pissed. He's gonna pay for that.
So he
tore my flight suit.
Fires this off, and it will catch you for 2 points of damage. All right, now let's go to initiative on this following round here. Sound good?
What's that again?
So that is you take your agility number plus a d6 plus any bonuses that you have.
Do you know how to write in this? I want to do roll 3d6, keep highest, but also plus my agility. So how would I write that?
So 3d6, take the highest.
So K1, right?
So I just rolled for you, so that's a 6 plus what's your agility?
5.
Okay, so that's an 11 is what you've got right now.
Cool.
Sound good?
Yep.
Wait, so how many should I have rolled then? I thought it was rolling one die for each point in agility and then additional die. That's not
no,
it?
it's roll a d6 and add your agility value.
Okay, then let me reroll.
Okay. Fine. And then
that's a 7.
4.
I think. Don't have a 4 in agility. Yes.
What'd you get, Kieran?
A 9.
9. And what did you get, Gazi?
Also a 9.
Okay, you guys all go before them. Except for Yelchin. One of them goes before Yelchin. Sorry. Kef. So, Kef, here's the situation. You kind of come out from this tree line. Two people have been knocked down to the ground, stunned. One of them had the tablet, and they ran back. One of the people who's actually up is guarding their leader. Another person is moving and firing, and there's still some people in that vehicle that are there. But it looks to you like they're going to have to take a second if they want to start it up. They're not going to be able to like run away or anything on you right now. So what do you want to do?
How much would I have had to pay to buy a grenade?
Let's look and see.
Missile and grenade launchers. I like the sound of that. That's expensive.
A concussion grenade or a frag grenade or an inferno grenade?
The one that does the most damage.
So the inferno grenade is restricted, but it costs 1,500.
Oh, but I can't buy that then, right?
Yeah. A concussion grenade costs 600.
Okay, and that does some damage?
Yeah, let me look and see exactly how that grenade blast damage is read. This is the thing we had last time, but let's see here. Critical injuries. Blast. Weapons. Sorry, this is the first time we really had this as a question.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. So we actually roll 6 dice with a concussion grenade for damage for anybody who's in the radius.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. So it was 600, you said?
Yep.
Cool. That sounds like a good purchase.
Okay.
I'll aim.
All right, let's have you make that ranged attack roll.
Alrighty. And is there any bonuses for that? No, right?
Nope.
Cool. So 2 dice because I'm aiming?
Yep, because you take time, spend that slow action.
Limited success.
Okay, so that will hit unless you want to push it.
Yeah, because this determines how many people are hit by it?
No, this will do additional dice that I have rolled for damage.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that for sure.
Okay.
Then. I want to mess these people up real good. And does it hurt the vehicle too?
No, I think the vehicle's probably a little bit further out from that.
Okay. An extra one, so 2.
Okay. So, here's the thing is, I'm going to say, as I spend my darkness points, that you will throw this and it will hit, but a bunch of the debris and shrapnel comes flying back in your face. So I'm also going to roll that damage on you.
Oh no!
I think that's
Not
fair.
the face.
Not the face.
Yeah.
So let me have you roll 7d6 for the enemy. Every 6 is going to do damage.
No 6s.
All right. So how about we have that be the roll on you, and I'll let you roll again. I'm a generous GM. Let's see what the bad guy damage is.
That's very kind. Oh, nothing.
So this grenade lands.
I'm
And
gonna hack this game.
No.
Make it good.
It hits, and it clearly the ground is uneven here, and it clearly goes down into one of the soft part of the ground, and it creates a cloud, an explosion cloud, but doesn't actually hurt anyone. Let's go to Kieran.
Wow. You know what? There's already an explosion cloud. At this point, we've got the tablet. I'm going to toss off some of the smoke grenades and see if we can get away.
Okay. Let's have you make a ranged combat roll.
Ugh, thanks. Thanks for taking it to a roll again. Okay. All right. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. Got a limited success.
Okay. If you want to re-roll, potentially cause more effect.
What the heck? Yes, 3. A total of 3.
So that's a critical.
All right.
So that explosion goes off and creates a cloud, but then boom, this thing hits, and this is a serious cloud. I mean, it explodes out and they are caught. It blocks sensors, it blocks sight. It's also greenish yellow. So immediately they freak out and start running back for the vehicle because they know that that's an acid cloud.
Mhm.
So that's going to be essentially what they're going to have to do. Ghazi, what do you want to do?
So the cloud around the car has turned weird and acidy.
Yeah, it isn't actually acidy, but they think it is, and they are running for cover after Kieran throws that smoke grenade.
I still really want to know more about this thing, so I'm not happy with just getting the tablet. So under the cover and the distraction, I'm going to
there are
run.
8 people there who are all still up and armed. Just want to make sure you know.
Shush.
Go
There's
on.
lots of distractions and smoke, and they'll never see me coming. It'll be great. As I want to try and see if I can get an opening to run towards the back of that car and get Salbino out.
Do we know Salbina's in there?
No, you don't know.
Is it like a closed car so we can't see inside?
It's a closed vehicle right now.
And the glass is not transparent, so we can't see.
You get that camo thing over it. I mean, you got smoke right now. It's very hard to see. But yeah, so you're gonna run.
See how hard it is to see out here.
So you're gonna run through the smoke cloud across this open area and try to climb into the vehicle.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Do you want to do this dexterity or infiltration, Ghazi?
Let's see. I'd like to do as infiltration.
Well, let's have you roll then.
Alrighty. And since I went to the trouble of praying to the faceless one, and this is the only other skill, I would like to try that again.
Okay.
Oh, hell. I had a +1 modifier in there the first time.
Do you want to re-roll then? And I mean, just if you decide to re-roll, take an extra die off because you had an extra die on the first one.
Okay, cool.
So 1 success. So Ghazi, you run through this cloud, kind of smack into the back end of this thing, and flip yourself back up into the back of this vehicle. And I will go ahead and spend 3 points there.
Hey.
And you pop in there, and there's a person with cuffs on, but there's also a guard person there who's been alerted because there's been explosions outside, sees you pop in, and is going to light you up.
Disagree with all parts of this.
Can't get an aim bonus, but is going to hold that actually with the gun bonus. So. And will miss on that first thing. But this dude lets loose with the auto fire from the submachine gun, essentially, and sprays everywhere but where you're at. And like empties his clip and doesn't touch you.
I picture it as like Ghazi like flinching and being like, no, and then like touches their body after, but like no holes.
And on their action, these people are starting up the truck and running, and everybody's climbing into the truck. And so Ghazi, there are a couple people that are climbing in essentially as you're climbing in. After that, and then they're like, "What is going on?" So we'll come back to you in
one
a
of them
second.
and say, "Don't."
Yelchin.
So how many people are climbing into this vehicle?
So you're over here. You can't tell there's smoke. You just saw Ghazi run into the smoke. It's completely obscured here. Critical success smoke grenade.
Thanks, Kieran. Oh God. And so I was running back to Ghazi, and he picked up and ran the opposite direction. I'm like, wait, but I've got the tablet.
Yeah, he runs with the tablet.
I know. And so how many people are out? So I can't see how many people are going into the car. So
anybody anymore.
I can't see anybody anymore.
No.
They can't see us then.
That's correct. You could easily pell-mell run through the smoke. That's what Ghazi did.
Yeah, but then I'm going to just like smash into the car or something. So what else is here? What is here that I can see?
So what you got is you're at the kind of the tree line. There's like almost a pass-through road thing, and the smoke is going up, and it's hard to see past where they are. It's probably still particles of dust and stuff in the air. You'll probably in the distance actually hear like a rumbling sound, like up in the air and off in the distance.
As in like something else moving towards us?
Yeah, like if there were like an Imperial patrol ship looking for the rebels.
These are the ones that do the bombings?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to Indiana Jones this. So I am an archaeologist after all.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this is going to have to be, Yelton's going to have to make a beeline for where he remembers the car to be, but he's heading for the driver's seat.
Okay, let's have you make a dexterity roll. Or do you think with your intuition you want to roll your mystic powers?
Ooh, you're saying I can use it to guide me to where I need to go?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, you're a 0. I'll go for that.
That sounds good. I like that.
Am I going the right way, lol?
All right, let's have you roll your mystic powers.
Oh, you're going to make me roll? Oh, wow.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm going to have to up that skill then.
Yes.
That was a failure. That's like smashing my head in the windshield again, just for comic relief. Yeah, no, I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay, I already took the liberty of raising it up by one of my DPs.
Yeah, I figured you did. Oh, and that was with a positive already. Wait, would I have had a positive? I would
Don't
not.
just re-roll. Just re-roll. We're going to go with where you got.
Okay. Nope.
So you run up and you come out, and when you kind of hit the car, you will realize that that commander person who got knocked down has climbed up and has a hold of that door to get in as you pop out. And you come out of the smoke and she sees you, you see her. Okay. And you hear other people coming. So you are not in a good position.
And that's the end of my move?
That's the end of your move with that roll, yes. All right. Kef,
So I'm going to run at the vehicle and slash the tires.
So you're going to run through the smoke.
Yep.
Okay. And try and slash the treads on this tracked, treaded vehicle.
Oh. Maybe I'll shoot them then if it's hard. If it doesn't seem like my knife could cut through it or something.
What kind of knife do you have? Do you just have a knife?
Yeah, I have a knife and a throwing knife.
Yeah, you'd suspect you'd need like a serious like a vibro knife or an explosive to take those tracks out.
Oh, an explosive?
Do you have another concussion grenade?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to. I was worried about putting a grenade there because wouldn't it maybe like mess up the people inside? And we're trying to, we're trying to not do that. Is there some sort of like other thing that I can just put on the tracks?
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
How about industrial strength packing foam thing? You just stuff that in there and it fills in really fast with foam and solidifies in under 4 seconds.
Oh, that sounds cool and sounds
because
cheap.
you spent $2,000 or beer on this, you have that.
Oh, sweet.
So here is the thing. I think that this is going to be a dexterity roll.
Okay.
With some consequences. You need to find your way. You need a success to find your way up there, and a success to get that in place. You need at least 2 successes to do this. Does that seem fair?
Sure. Okay, so I guess accelerated reflexes won't help me.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have anything else that will help me? No.
I can help him.
How do you help him?
I help him by, I have already showed him how to use it. So I'm thinking that sort of flashback thing that he has Kieran's monotone instructions. Like a flight attendant, going.
Like when he pulls the device out that actually activates a thing. Kef, this is how you use this. Okay.
And
all right, I'll give you an extra die because I'm feeling generous because you guys are going to get crushed here in a second.
Uh-huh.
I mean, go on.
Oh, no.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll re-roll. Who
did you pray to today?
Probably always the judge.
Okay.
Yeah. So is it the same amount of dice then?
It's going to be the same amount of dice.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Kef, you get up to this thing and you jam this in there. Not at the best possible part of it. And you trigger it. And it goes and your hand is stuck in there. And you're like, and immediately you don't imagine your doom or being crushed by the treads. You imagine Kieran's reaction. Speaking of which,
it's probably even like Kieran's being like, you want to make sure that you hit it, and then you retract your hand because it goes up in 4 seconds, and then it's like, oh shit.
And also imagine that. I don't know if you've ever touched that foam when those expand. It is hot as fuck. All that energy released, your hand is like burning. Kieran, your action. You saw Kef run into everyone ran into the smoke.
Yeah, I see Yelchin turn around. He's got the thing. He turns around and U-turns. I look back at the Jeep and I see Ghazi not in there, and I'm like, we had this all sussed out.
Hold on a second. I'm going to spend some darkness points.
All right, thanks.
You turn back and look at the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you will see as he drives away. He was not here for a gunfight.
Yeah.
And
I'm with him. I wasn't really either, but okay. I mean, I was, but okay. So essentially what you see is her take out her knife, go into the smoke. Essentially, she knows where the outline of the thing was better than anyone else will. So she will head in there. See if you can pull out Ghazi at least.
All right. So do you want to? So your intent is to take your action to move up.
Yeah, and if I have to stab anyone in the way, then I'm going to stab someone. So
Okay. I'm going to say you can, if you do this, you're doing this a little more carefully. You can either roll dexterity, or you can roll infiltration, or you can roll notice.
I will roll infiltration. I think that's let's see. Yeah, they're the same, infiltration or notice.
Okay.
So, fuck. I mean, excuse me. Sure, you need some more darkness points because whatever. Okay, 2.
So you will get up back thing, and part of it is the sound of the auto fire kind of draws you, and you will see the back of this truck. Ghazi is getting up into the back, and there are 2 of the guys who were on the ground are also trying to get up into it, and you will come up behind them.
Okay.
And I'll say with that success, you can draw the attention of one of them. How does that sound?
Sure. Can I draw the attention of him with my blade?
Next round, yes.
Okay, sure. All right.
All right. Now, these guys are going to go. Well, actually, the captain's going to go. The captain sees you, Yelchin, and you see her draw out a mercurium knife, and she sees you have the tablet, and she goes, "That is mine," and she is going to stab you.
And Yelchin's going to put the tablet between himself and her.
Okay.
So defend roll, right? Whatever that is.
Yeah. So if you wish to defend, you can roll melee combat against that. Two successes. So yeah, you go to with your action. That's your action to defend. You get that up, and she hits that. And when that knife makes contact with the tablet, there's actually a release of energy, and she is knocked back by that because she didn't get any successes, and you defended. So you can. You neutralize nothing, so you don't even need to neutralize that. So here are the things you can do with the extra successes. You can perform an attack dealing weapon damage, or you can make the enemy drop a weapon or other handheld item, or you can do both with 2 successes because you don't have to neutralize any of her things.
So I could make her drop her weapon, and what was the other thing?
You could actually hit her.
Like smack her upside the head with a tablet?
Yeah.
That's what I have in my hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Or does that mean I could also I could use that instead to pick up the knife that she dropped?
Yes.
Or smack her, or what would I be rolling if I decided to smack her? It would just be
you don't have to roll. You've already got the successes.
Oh, then I'm just going to
say
smack her.
Okay. Do you want to spend both to do damage, or do you just want to knock the weapon out and hit her?
I just want to actually wait. So let me figure this out. So if this is my move, and if I spend the point to knock the weapon out of her hand, then she will go before me in the next move, so she'll be able to pick up the weapon and then attack me again. So
yes, yes, that is correct.
No. So then I'm going to make her drop the weapon and pick it up.
Okay. So yeah, you knock her back. She's shocked. You will grab that mercurium knife, and you've got control of it now. Okay. Other bad guys. So you hear the vehicle start up last round, and they begin to move the vehicle slowly forward. And Kef, you see you're kind of getting turned by this as it's going, and it's rolling you towards those rollers. We'll come back to that in a second. Right now, the guy who is got surprised is not going to act, but we've got 2 people here potentially on Ghazi, but Ghazi gets to go first. because I skipped him.
This is all going the best.
The best, is it?
That's absolutely to plan.
Go on.
I have a sword thing.
Okay.
Can I toss something to what's her face and use the sword in the same round, or is that too many thingamajiggers?
Let's see. Sprinter sword distance.
Don't you get
drawing a
3
weapon.
actions actually in a?
Yeah, you could spend a fast action to throw the blade out to Kieran, and then make a standard attack.
Oh, I wanted to use the blade because I'm probably not going to be very good at it. Yeah, it's probably smarter to throw it to Kieran.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a.
Or Sabino.
I was going to throw something to Salbino and attack these guys, but the voice of God is right. It's slightly smarter to throw the good weapon to you and use my time to deal with Salbino.
Okay.
So you throw the weapon. There's still a guy coming in, and there's the other guy who fired who's going to have to drop his weapon and just draw a knife. And there's Salbino who has those cuffs on. You still got a standard action after you throw that blade out to Kieran. What do you want to use it for?
So I yell at Kieran. It's here. Catch this. It's a Dura sword. So it's large and vibro and fun. But yes, I'm rushing over to Salbino, and we determined in the first one I have that like Star-Lord style exosuit. So I'm pulling that out and slapping the mask on her face to activate it, just because it has some armor.
Okay.
I'm saying, "Run, you idiot! Get up and run!"
She'll point to the fact that she is cuffed, chained to the vehicle.
Oh, come on! I look back at my vibro sword, which is outside.
So the other guy is going to climb into the vehicle. And let me see. His buddy is in here. His butterfire. He's probably going to have to, because that auto fire. He's going to get into the vehicle and kind of turn to try and deal with Kieran. But we've got this other guy who fired off the gun, completely missed you, and is now going to essentially grabs up the nearest a crowbar and goes to hit you, Ghazi. Do you have any armor?
I do.
Then you should roll that armor.
I got 1.
So you only take 1 point of damage, essentially, as he cracks you across the skull with the crowbar.
Ow.
And so we cut to the next round. People have been surprised. People are getting in the vehicle. You guys have come through the smoke. Kef. Arm's kind of caught in there. It's kind of spinning you around there.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's no good. I wonder, is there I guess I could just slash at the foam or something, right? Or something.
Yeah, because do you have the solvent for it?
I don't know.
So here's the thing is, you can slash at it and probably keep the foam intact.
Right.
Or you can use solvent. It will get rid of the foam, but you'll get free with no problem and probably won't stab your hand then.
Oh, yeah. Stabbing hand isn't the best either, is it? I am going to... I guess I'll use the solvent.
Okay. If you use the solvent, you can spray that in there. I'm assuming cursing as you do. You get your hand out there. You've got this stuff running down, your yellowish goo running down your hand from that, but you'll be able to get out on this round.
Sounds good.
Okay. Kieran.
Okay, so let's see here. This sword comes flying out of the entrance
Yes, it does.
towards me. Can I get a hold of it?
Yes, you can.
Can I use it to stab this guy next to me who's in between me and Ghazi?
Sure, you get it. Has a bonus die +1.
Okay, so does my knife. What kind of damage does it do?
It does. Durasword does 2 damage and a crit of 1.
Crit of 1. What does that mean?
That means if you get 2 successes, you can crit.
All right, sure. Let's try it. Okay. Hold on a second. All right, let's do this thing. Failure. I'll dark point it. Okay, 2.
Okay. Do you want me to roll the critical hit for you?
Sure.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, so you stab him in the jimmy.
Oh, it's up above me. It only makes sense.
Yes.
With a vibro sword. So
No.
And
that's a
essentially,
life changer
catch him,
for him.
there's that, and he just drops to the ground.
Yeah, because with
Just-
the points in combat, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good.
Just absolutely, just gone. Ghazi.
Hmm. Well, I guess I gotta get this crowbar away from this guy.
Okay.
Gosh,
So you
that
wish
seems
you-
like the absolute worst.
It does, doesn't it?
How does aimed shots work?
Aim shot means that you don't move. You just stop and aim with a ranged attack.
And is there a particular penalty for firing in melee?
I don't think there is.
Okay. Does he seem overly armored on his hands?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to pull out that needler and shoot it directly into his palms.
Okay.
Try and get him to drop that thing.
Then you kind of grab his hand, shove the needler in it, kind of aim and fire it. Let's have you.
I'm trying to get the crowbar. So yeah, I'll grab the crowbar and sort of use that to pull his hands forward. And oh
Sure.
god,
Let's
I
have
don't
you
know
make
if I
that
want
range-
this to work or not.
Let's have you make that ranged attack roll.
Oh, what? I'm terrible in that.
Yes. That will go off though.
I'm not going to get better with 2 dice on a reroll, so that's it.
Okay. So I will say, yeah, you can do some damage and get that crowbar away from him. Because those needles at that close range, they go deep into the skin, into the palm of his hands, and probably are knocking. There's a lot of bones in the hand, and you probably broke at least some of those pieces in there.
Sorry. Give me sorry.
All right, this captain kind of zotched her back from that.
Before she goes after me,
Uh-huh.
since I've got her Mercurium knife, which gives me +1 to initiative, does that let me act before her?
Oh, you know what? I love that you looked that up, so I'm going to say yes.
So you've got this picture of Yelchin like flipping the knife in his hands and doing, I get like the tablet on the other. So yeah, this is awkward.
Okay.
But his concern is, so the vehicle's moving away.
It's starting to roll, yeah.
So there's a driver in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Is the door open? Or the window down? Probably not because of all the gas, but
Explosions.
so what I'd like to do is
here's what I'll give you. I'll give you that the window is actually broken from the grenade blast from before.
Okay. So if she was in front of me and further up in front of the car, what I was thinking of doing is slamming the door open into her and then pulling the driver out and getting in.
Okay. You're going to need a bunch of successes to do that, but you can. Okay? Because successes are like a currency. So let's see what happens.
Okay, what do you want me to roll first?
I want you. No, it's just one roll. It's just melee combat.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Can anybody help me?
I don't think anyone's going to help you. You do have a knife with you, so because you're using that for leverage, I'll let you take the bonus die from that if it has
okay.
one. Roll melee combat, and don't forget, of course, the dancer allows you to reroll
Yeah, no, I got that.
with the good bonuses.
Please, oh please, I'm due for a good roll. How many is that? I can't see.
So you got one right now.
So if I roll it again, I take the bonus. Well, if I use the dancer, then
You'll have a net +1.
okay. So I can just roll it again. Yay.
So 2 successes. So 1 success to hit her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The goal of knocking her down again, basically.
And you're actually not worried about doing damage. You just want to essentially push her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's that first thing. And then the second thing is you want to reach up and yank this guy out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's your second thing. You don't get into the vehicle in this round, but you'll leap up onto that sideboard, grab him, pull him through that, and fling him to the ground back behind you.
Okay, excellent.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And the guy who's in the passenger seat is like, hey. So that was you, Yelchin. The captain is, I'm going to say we still got that smoke. You've knocked her back. I'm going to say you burnt her action for this round. She's going to try and climb onto the side of the vehicle so it can't get away from her. Then let's deal with the non-groin stabbed dude trying to kill you, Sherry.
Sure, go ahead.
He is having a very bad day.
It's going to get worse, buddy.
The guy with the needler hand. Let me see here. I think he's going to try and push you out of that vehicle there, Gazi. So essentially, he knocks you down, is what he does with his action in the cab of this thing. I will say that it's probably at that point that as he's kind of knocked you down, that you will see Sabato kind of reaches up with her manacles now that he's gotten close enough, and she will pull back, and she's just no expression on her face. She's just holding him like that as he's choking out. Let's come to Kef.
Oh,
the guy in the passenger seat is like, he's stunned by the yanking of his friend out. Just to tell you why. But he's probably fumbling for his gun. Kef.
so inside this vehicle, Yelchin is now driving?
No, he hasn't gotten into the driver's seat yet.
Okay, but so no one's in the driver's seat, or somebody?
No one's in the driver's seat. Yelchin has pulled the driver out, and there is a passenger in the passenger seat.
Interesting. Okay, and so I was probably at the driver's side rear of the vehicle.
So you could easily get back and up in the cab, or you could try and go up over and get to the passenger side, or even go through the driver's side. What do you want to do?
I think I.
Before you do that, let me just spend these last 3 advantage points I have.
Sure.
Because in the distance you'll hear, and you'll recognize the sound of bombardment.
Right. I think I'll climb on top of the vehicle and then aim down at the passenger seat at the guy's head with my Vulcan cricket.
I like it. Roll ranged combat.
Alrighty.
No aim, because I think you have to spend your fast action to get up there.
Yeah. And then it will be a +1 bonus for the cricket, right?
Yep.
2.
So I will say that if you spend 1 success to do damage, and essentially you can spend the other success to kind of force him to jump out. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
Okay. So what do you suppose that looks like when you're doing that?
I think the Vulcan cricket, which, by the way, the entire time I've thought in my mind that it looks like that little
I know.
gun in the Men in the Black.
Yes.
One where he's like, why do you get the good gun and I get the midget cricket? So I think I shoot down and like maybe graze him or something, and then he sort of like opens a door and tumbles out. So he doesn't get
This shot's coming down, peppering the seat next to him. He'll pull and jumps out for it, grabbing his breather mask on even as that's happening. But yeah, you got the passenger cleared. Kieran. You're muted.
So what I'm noting is I'm looking at this guy and he's between me and Ghazi, and I pretty much go, "You're in my way." And I give him 1 round to get the heck off the vehicle. If he doesn't do it, I stab him.
You just groin shotted his buddy with that vibro sword, and it's still glowing, and the explosions are happening off in the distance. Yeah, I think he leaps away, grabs his friend, and starts running for the tree line.
Okay.
So you can pop up into the back of it. You'll see Ghazi on the floor, and you'll see this archaeologist choking out the guy back here.
Okay, I give her the thumbs up.
Okay.
Then I'll jump down next to Ghazi and I'll pull him up and I'll go, "You're an idiot."
Oh, Kieran, thank you. You brought my sword back. I very much need it on this chain here. Not the one that she's using to choke that horrible man, but the one holding her to the ground.
Ghazi, what are you doing?
Blathering at Kieran.
Okay.
If she's going towards the chain, then I'll help out Salbino by whacking the guy on the head while she's choking him.
Oh yeah, I think
that seems like the worst idea.
Yeah.
She's got some armor from my spacesuit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me what you do to take this guy out.
I think I'm like trading places with Kieran as she works her way down towards the chain, and I'm like lining up a shot with this crowbar, and there's like a lurch as the thing starts to move faster. I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna get it this time, and I come down, and mostly it's very close to hitting her in the head, but yeah, I come straight down on his head with the crowbar.
Okay, and you will take this guy out. Yelchin.
So I'm on the sideboard. She's on the sideboard.
Yeah, but you go first. And the engine's running.
Yeah, no, I know. We gotta get out of here. Nobody's driving it. But she's on the sideboard. I can't just slam the door into her again, can I?
Well, you didn't catch her with the door. You kind of pushed her back. But yeah, I mean, you could try and do that, or you could try and scrape her off as you drive.
That's what I was just realizing. This is Indiana Jones, right? So I'm going to get into the driver's seat, and I'm going to do the scrape-off thing where I try and go close to the tree line.
Let's go driving roll.
Piloting. Yes!
That's
something I can do!
Yes.
Let's see. And there's not going to be any bonuses on that, so let me clear that. And... You are kidding me.
But the good news is you can re-roll.
No, I definitely will.
So let's get those 2 extra dice, right?
So it'll be a +1 effectively, right?
No, you didn't get any successes. +2.
Okay. Which gives me 8 dice. So if I fail on this, that's just
Don't even say it. Just stop.
That just confirms like Fraser's thing, doesn't it? So the dancer helped me. 1.
So I think that it is not pretty. and it is less that you scrape her off and more that she hears the explosions coming, and she will drop and run. Okay. And tell me then, Yelchin, what is the piloting thing that you do to keep this camouflage vehicle from being spotted by the aerial bombardment?
No, don't I just need to go into the forest on the road?
Yeah. So tell me what that looks like. Are you smashing down trees, or how is it? This is a big tracked vehicle. What's the trick you use?
What is the trick I'm going to use to get them away? Get away from them. It's got to be just drive fast.
That you just kind of break perpendicular to this, and
yeah.
And you don't care about keeping this vehicle alive. You just care about getting out of here, right?
Yeah, I'm just hoping they're not going to carpet bomb us.
And as he does that, I think I'll help Yelchin out by out of the back of the vehicle. I'll basically take that that signal jammer and like space duct tape it to my recon drone, and send that flying out in a different direction from us, so that like they'll start to track that signal jamming moving and hopefully follow that as Yelchin is diving for the trees. And
you guys will be able to do that. You'll be able to smash through here. You probably, eventually break this vehicle. Like eventually one of these treads will just break off from it, and you'll have to come to a stop there. It's at that point that you explain to your erstwhile archaeological rescuee while you're there.
Sure.
Yes, well, I'll explain to her the very poor negotiating position she is in. And also, I'll tell Kieran, see, it all worked out. It was fine. It's a good plan. Good plan, guys. Great job.
You get the other tablet then?
I'm not saying I do or don't, but we might have a lead.
That's the other tablet, right?
Okay, yes. I can see you are a skilled negotiator as well.
So we will cut to the shot of her bringing you into an archaeological site that she's kind of built. Actually, it looks like the drainage and stuff has exposed kind of almost like a raised wall thing. And she brings the four of you up to climb onto it. And you can see that this thing is like a ring, like a big stone ring, probably about a mile across. It's raised up like, maybe 20, 30 feet off the floor of the forest. And she will have you put this tablet there, along as she kind of shows you the control panel that she has. And when you do that, there'll be a hum from this ring, kind of and you will see that whole forest that's in the middle of the ring falls away.
As in, it's destroyed, or did it just go down?
It's gone, and what you see instead is you see a mile-wide starscape.
Oh. Ooh.
It's a map?
No, it's a gate.
It's a gate.
Oh.
But so it's like a gate into space?
Yes.
If only we had our ship here.
So I think that's actually where we need to stop here, is with that scene.
No, that's a fucking amazing visual to stop on.
Do we want to do epilogues, or are you good with that as the sort of the end point there?
For me, I'm good with it.
Okay. Are you good with that, Ghazi?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good cut.
Just the sight of you, the four of you standing as that goes on. The forest just vanishes. You imagine it's fallen into space then, whatever was there, the bits of trees and stuff. And you can probably, as you kind of move around, you can see there is a solar system there. So this is a gate into another place. And Yelchin, I imagine you can pull up your data and it's not a system you know.
Sweet.
And that's where we'll stop. Thank you guys very much. Do you mind doing Roses and Thorns? We're a little over time. I apologize for that.
Are we? I thought we played till 1.
Yeah.
No. No. Actually, we're actually on time because we played till 1:45, so we're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because we still have 25 minutes, right?
So we're good. Let's do Roses and Thorns then. Sherry, besides the dice, what are your thorns?
Let's see. Well, why did you say besides the dice when it's all the dice? It's the dice. They're evil. They're D6s, so inherently my karma with them is particularly bad. And this just, they having to get, I mean, you got 2 successes and they're saying it's a limited success. That makes me sad inside. So.
Yeah, it feels like that whole 1 to 2 limited success thing, 3 critical. I find that scale's really weird to me. And boy, do you guys start out with very few skill points. I think that's nuts.
Yeah. Your 3-tier there very much made the game feel playable.
Yeah. Rather
than if we'd been going with the 1 to 2 as limited, like I would have gotten frustrated a long time ago.
Yeah. But I think if we're going to do a long campaign, maybe that's the right skill level to start out. But even then, it still feels really, really low to me. Christo, Thorns? About the play, about the system, about how I ran.
I kind of like the space combat that we went through. I thought that was sort of interesting. I think that was probably the one time we were lucky.
Okay.
Because we took out a ship that was significantly more powerful than us, I think. So that was sweet.
So that's your thorn, is that the space combat was better than the regular combat?
Yeah, I always get it backwards. No, the regular combat's not that bad. Yeah, no, I don't have a particular problem with the regular combat, except you have to be very aware of what the weapon bonuses are and stuff like that, which is a little weird. But yeah, and then you have initiative, but yeah, I mean that's sort of given for it. As long as you don't play look at the tactical map, then I think that's all manageable. Also, keep it from slowing down it too much. But no, the dice are just killer. Which makes you realize, okay, yeah, instead of like mystic powers, done with mystic powers, got to put everything into the skills now.
Yeah, especially because those things, I understand the logic behind having them have a danger point cost, but I think actually they should be like mutant powers in Mutant Year Zero, where you say you do it and you do it.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a roll to see if something goes wild, but but the cost of having the darkness point is probably enough. That you shouldn't have to roll.
Yeah,
okay.
I think actually, I guess the thorn would be, I think they probably need to flesh that out more, because it's like, okay, well, why am I paying for the mystic levels? Okay, to make them more successful, but then does that mean if I get a critical, I'm going to get a better effect out of it? I guess in some of them they define that, but some of them just don't seem like they really are worth the investment of the skill points.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating, because they're supposed to be cool and mystic things.
Yeah, it's really weird. Fraser, Thorns?
I just don't like the connotations it has for the fiction that we're always doing it. It seems like it undermines the fiction because we're constantly praying and it means nothing, right? Like what does it even look like in the fiction? We're just like Hail Mary and nope, Hail Mary, nope, Hail Mary, nope, right? Like, it's just weird. You would think that if that is something that they thought would be important, it just doesn't feel like it because it's happening so often.
Yeah, I agree. Because they've written it that way in the fiction, it creates an issue.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I actually like how the economy of rerolls and darkness points flow back and forth. But yeah, when you consider the fiction, it's so watered down and nothing that these icons are supposed to be everything in this sector.
Yeah, I think that would need some. You're definitely right. That needs tuning, because it does feel out of character with the tone of it. At least it's not Mutant Year Zero where you re-roll and you do damage to yourself. So I do like the economy, but the fiction here is off. Anything else as a game designer?
No, yeah, just the success curve. I like when the OGL comes to me from the whole reason why I backed Forbidden Lands or Kingdoms or whatever it is so I would get the license, and I'm just I think I'm gonna put some blades into this and make it so that there's a much better curve.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And I think there's some very interesting. There's a lot I like here that I think is worth borrowing if you want to do something that's a little more traddy. And I kind of like what's happening. I like the Darkness Points economy. So
yeah.
Patrick?
I made notes. We talked about it a lot in this session, but rolled armor and rolled damage are the absolute worst idea in tabletop gaming ever, and I thought we were 10 or 15 years past that.
Well, the only rolled damage is for the blast stuff.
It still sucked.
Yes.
I hope that the Emissary Lost brings a lot more to the system, because like over and over again, I was feeling the walls of the system. Like 80% of the book is super concerned with combat and how far you're moving and how many bullets you have. And I'd not realized how completely over that I am. The talents, like there's very few of them that have to do with social interactions or investigation or finding out stuff about this amazing setting and stuff like that. And yeah, I reached a point here where I was like, wow, for the rest of my character's life, because I'm going to be getting level ups all the time because the experience points in this game go super fast. For the rest of this character's life, I'm mostly just going to be buying skills. Like here in the first couple of sessions, I've bought everything interesting I can or want to.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And similarly, like the game seems really, really concerned with players breaking your game. I think it comes out the most in the Mystic Powers, where they are very limited, very hard to use. There are those ones like that Danger Sense Premonition one and the stop power that I have, which are very dependent on external triggers bringing them in.
Mm-hmm.
And even then they're like super limited and weak. And like that yes/no power that Yelchin has, which is pay a darkness point, a big cost, to ask the GM one yes or no question, to which they can answer yes, no, maybe, or lie. If a yes/no question would break your whole plot. It actually says that in there, that you're allowed to lie if the answer to this question would just derail the entire campaign.
Yeah.
And that is insane.
Yeah, we call that designing around Bob.
Yeah.
I get the sense that some of it is setting related, in that they want the Mystic Powers to be on the sort of lower end. But still, it's so punishing to try and get them and use them, and that's so discouraging for the feel of it.
One of the things I think that's interesting is that this game feels, and this would kind of be my thorn, this game feels like a step back from this system, from Mutant Year Zero and Tales from the Loop. In both of those games, they're very much make your roll and you get to do stuff and you get successes and you get to spend them. And the GM has to deal with it. Like the mutant powers in Mutant Year Zero, you just use them. They're going to have that effect. They might have an overload or something like that, but it just happens. And planning for a session, GM pulls a random thing at the start of the session, and you just play from there. It's all very much play to see what happens. This game feels like it's play to see what happens, but we're going to build in a bunch of GM architecture, and we're going to be careful, and we don't want anything to be overpowered. And because I think it wants to be like more like the crunchy Traveler and hard science stuff, it's pulling back on that. I don't think it needs to. I think you can take some of the innovations, the play to see what happens innovations, and bring them back into this, because it's not doing that right now. I think that just dovetails into what you've all said.
Mm-hmm. And just as a last tiny little thorn thing, like I feel like we spent 3/4 of a session length at least over the course of these 5 sessions Walmarting and looking up what weapons or particular talents do. And I'd also forgotten how much that annoyed me.
Yeah. Long equipment lists are a pain in the ass. I mean, but it's such a hallmark of sci-fi games, though. Okay, let's go to Roses then. Sherry.
So I like the setting. I like the idea of faith and technology all mingled together. I like the idea of a ship of faith that's got, all of the crazy ceramic tiles. I mean, I love the beauty and the imagery that it evokes in my head. I like all of those things are worth exploring. Those are amazing.
Okay. Christo, you kind of did a little rose and a little thorn last time. So which will it be now?
I like the way the darkness points are sort of your currency for making negative things happen to us, or consequences happen to us. And I think that came out. I mean, I recognized right away when you said there was a rumbling, and I saw the darkness points go down. I thought, oh, here come the bombers, and which gave us a time limit, right? So we had to get out of there, and that's why the vehicle suddenly became central, because I knew that if we were just running out of there, I didn't think we'd get away. So I do like the darkness points, and it didn't feel like. I mean, we were being relatively liberal with the rerolls and whatnot, so we were giving you darkness points, and them coming back at us didn't feel overburdened. And I guess theoretically, as we go, if we were to keep playing these characters and keep advancing, our rolls would get better, so we'd probably be rerolling less.
Mm-hmm.
So you would get fewer darkness points. So I wonder how that plays out in a long-term campaign.
I don't know.
I mean, does it get boring because we just suddenly start getting successful?
One of the things is that the darkness points mechanic, I'm playing it very much as I'm using those darkness points to do hard and soft moves. The actual rules are a little, or not a little, are a lot more granular than that. And I'm just kind of, I'm not going to spend points to have your weapon break, because that is that just doesn't feel good. Unless you're in a situation where it makes sense because you've done something dramatic with your weapon. So yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of it fueling moves like that. And I think that is great, but yeah, I don't know if it would get worse. Here's the thing is the dice are still so wonky. You would always be re-rolling, because even when you get good, I'm still going to be going, you look good. You look fine. I mean, but you just look okay. Do you want to look awesome? And Frazier will re-roll.
Yeah, there's that.
There's that. Frazier, roses?
Yeah, I think like all of the setting material is really cool. I actually didn't even mind doing the Walmart stuff just because all the stuff was really like foreign and cool, like Vulcan crickets and like weird sounding weapons and knives and stuff like that. So I didn't really mind all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think the mechanics just do kind of like a weird job of like actually putting the setting into play.
Mhm.
But everything else is really cool about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patrick, roses?
Yeah, despite all that earlier, like I super loved this game. I am totally digging the setting, the whole history and setup of everything. Like I am 100% fucking in on that. Like it's great. I can't wait to see what comes out of Emissary Lost. There are some really neat things I think the system is doing. We've beaten the darkness point system to death, but I love it. I think given more mastery with the system, I could see getting comfortable with the like 3 action points per round thing and really nailing that down some more. I like a lot of the talents that aren't just shoot people better. And I like the idea of the mystic talents. There's just a ton in there that I liked. Oh, I love the PC buddy. I think that's a great system. It also ties into, I think, the majority of the experience system being tied into genre appropriate actions and dramatically appropriate actions is super clever and super great. And I loved our setup. I loved our team. I thought our various and sundry dysfunctions were really interesting to play out. And like I so want to see where this story goes. Like, I want to dive recklessly through that portal. I want to go play around in ancient lost maker tech and just all the cool things that are sort of promised by this world. I want to get into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the setting. I mean, here's the thing: is I'm always nervous about it being when stuff borrows from Arab and Middle Eastern themes. I'm always worried about the sort of Orientalist nature of it. I think the distance that it takes makes it work if the GM is handling it respectfully. And there's a lot I like about the setup. Like I really like Fading Suns, which is sort of high medieval Europe in space. But it's got such a monolithic set of things. The church dominates, and everybody has to listen to the church, and got these nobility and things. This game feels much more open. There's much more room for the characters to play and matter, and the factions are all kind of even. There's much more imaginative space than I think Fading Suns leaves you. And so yeah, I really do like the setting, and I really liked how much room we got for role play. I mean, all these characters were dynamite. We got some great bits. Especially at the start of the session, and with everybody's interactions with that scene kind of carrying over from last time, and I thought we got a lot of really nice in-character moments throughout it, the session as well. So it does give us room for that, where some other games might not. But yeah, I dig it. I want to definitely do it again. I did like the spaceship combat. That I thought that was very cool, and I'm really looking forward to doing that again. So yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, that's true. The combat felt like, well, this is combat. The space combat felt like something innovative.
Yeah, it felt different. It felt neat. And it was still pretty open. Oh, I also like successes as a currency. I like the idea of you roll successes and you get to spend them to do things. That the Seventh Sea has the same thing. I like the way it works here better than I like it in Seventh Sea. So I think that's a great design concept. All right. Well, I think then we are set. Thank you guys very much for doing this for 5 weeks. 5 weeks of Sundays with me. I much appreciate it. And
thank you for running it. I'd do more.
I'm going to stop the broadcast.